Good morning, guys. I have finished the sketchbook. There are still a couple of areas that I am working in it just because they are concept illustrations that I have to do, but or finish up, but mostly the sketchbook's done, so I'm going to do a flip through and then I can talk about sketchbook. So this was a Denex. I've had Denex before, but the sketchbook I had before was a hardcover and it had 120-pound paper. This was only about, I think, 65-pound paper. So even though it was a lighter poundage, it still held up with ink and a little bit of watercolor, not too much. But anyways, so the first page is a mess, and the book was started on February 11th and I finished it yesterday on the 26th. So basically this book, I just trashed it. Those are notes. I took lots of notes in it. I was doing a lot of tutorial videos, as you can see, notes on tutorials, and I was doing a lot of practice, and I was really just using this as a sketchbook. I didn't care about the finished product. I just wanted to get the processes down and just do sketching and get into that daily habit of just continual sketching. So I really pushed myself in this one just to not care about every perfection mark. I just wanted to make marks. And then obviously there's my tutorials that I do in my sketchbook, and concept designs for some characters and some illustrations I want to do. I will be doing the kings for playing cards. I do want to do that video. I don't know when I'll do it, but I do want to do it. And then different tutorials, like for the arm again, and just like when I was drawing Soldier 76, just some of them I did spot illustrations. So I was doing this for a friend because they wanted a character drawn a specific way, or like just a lot of facial sketches and doing, that's my go-to when I don't know what to draw. I just draw faces. I was really tired, so I left this huge space here, which I don't like. I like doing, this was a breast tutorial that I never did. I like to create, I like to fill my space, and a lot of the drawings in this, like that was a concept that failed, so I just left the page almost blank. And then this was the more finished thing. But this has got like this huge blank space. I should have done more concept work. I might go back and fill up these pages with more work and more sketches. Skillshare, I've been doing a lot of notes off of Skillshare, and I put together a basic bullet journal. My sketchbook is where I work. My sketchbook is where I do everything, and I carry it with me all the time. So I just put a page in there that's like a month calendar, and I've been doing that for each month. I have a different sketchbook, and I'll just like transfer over for the rest of the month if I change my sketchbook mid-month. But for the most part, March will be in a new sketchbook. I'm going to put it on the front page, and just I'm going to try work a sketchbook a month. If I get through it faster or slower, then whatever. But I think it's a much better way for me to keep track of my month and what I want to do and goals for it. And as you can see, I'm all over the place with styles. She was really cute. And just sketching tips and different marks and different, like, just, I'm playing with a lot of different stuff in this. This is for the next YouTube Artist Collective video. It's going to be World in a Bottle, so I was doing some concept work for that because I was really interested in that. I might unofficially do a video for it just because I think it is such a really cool concept. Practicing my cartooning. I love this. I might just take that, scan it, and color it. These are all of my notes I took for unrealistic expectations, and what you have to watch with these unrealistic expectations. They can actually cause massive depression, so just be kind to yourself and give yourself a break. Ink page that is just awful, like it's not filled. Sometimes you don't have to fill the page with a ton of sketches, but when the sketches aren't good, sometimes you just need to flick the page over and get off of that page. Like I could have put a lot more stuff down here. This was a hands video that I was trying to do, hand anatomy 101 and hands, and I kept getting interrupted. So there's a lot of hand practice videos and hand videos in here, or hand pages. Also some feet pages. I will be doing feet probably later in the week. That is a goal. I watch all different kinds of artist YouTube channels, and whatever one I'm watching, I usually try and watch the ones that are, I like ones that are just like music and painting techniques and like time-lapsed, so it's only like 5-10 minutes, but then if it's a 10-minute video or like an information video, I always take notes because it's really important to remember certain facts and to refresh your mind on certain facts. So I might know these things or I might not, but I'm always taking notes on the stuff I'm watching. Failed pages of sketches, more sketches. I watched a video and the pose was really bothering me, so I tried to like fix it. And if you see something and you're like watching another artist and they're drawing something and you don't think it's right, try drawing it yourself. It's really great practice to try and fix something that you see that's wrong. You don't have to show it and don't post it, because you kind of look like a dick when you do that. But if you see something wrong with a pose and it's glaring and you can't figure it out, try drawing it yourself. It's a really great way to practice to figure out what is wrong. And if you can see stuff wrong in other people's drawings, then you can start seeing stuff in your drawings and trying to fix them. And always redraw stuff. Like, never be afraid to like redraw something. Like, you should always want to redraw things if it isn't working out, because it gives you more practice at drawing the thing that you're struggling with. Like hands, for instance. Hands give people hell. One of my followers suggested that they always like to draw at least one hand in whatever character they're drawing. They'll draw one hand doing one pose so that they practice and they force themselves to do it. That's a really wonderful way to practice. That's so great. Another one of my followers, Desiree, I think. I can't remember names. I'm really bad with names. I remember icons. So, purple cat icon. Tagging illustrations in your sketchbook that you want to revisit, or ideas that you want to revisit. That's really, really good tip, because then when you fill sketchbooks and you're like, oh man, I want to figure out what, like, I want to redo some drawings, you can just flick through all those tags that you've posted and revisit those illustrations and those concepts. So it's a really great way to remind yourself. Or if you have a really cool drawing, you like tag it so that you can go back to it and see like, what do I really like about that drawing? So yeah, this is just a lot of practice work, guys. Like, so much practice work. I was doing a lot with just straight ink and straight like pencil, just because I couldn't erase and I wasn't getting precious. I was just making marks. I drew this, like, this was a really awesome sketch. I really liked it, the way it turned out. I want to go in with some eraser just to take out some highlights and really build that structure of the face. But I loved this sketch. It was just on a piece of like note paper, so I just stuck it in my book. I don't normally do this, but I really enjoyed that. I prefer, if I sketch on a scrap of paper, I'll definitely paste it in a sketchbook, as it's easier to keep track of, but I don't do a lot of that. I usually just have my sketchbook with me. I carry a sketchbook everywhere. I like to work between, the biggest type size of sketchbook I will go was a 9x12, just because anything larger won't fit in my bag and it's a bit clunky to carry around. And the smallest I'll go is about an 8.5 by, or not 8.5, a 5.5 by 8. Or 5.5 by 8.5, essentially, sketchbook. And that's just because anything smaller, I tend to get, I lose and I forget where I put my book. I'm notorious for losing things, so I try to keep it so it's like a sketchbook about this size is good for me. This is just my journal, but that's about a good size for a sketchbook. For traveling, I find, or like an 8.5 by 11 sketchbook. But you know what? Sketchbooks are very personal. It's not a one-size-fits-all medium. You find the type of sketchbook that works for you, and then just use it. Like, if you prefer to draw on a smaller sketchbook, that's perfectly okay, because as long as you're drawing every day, you're going to get better. So don't worry about the size of the sketchbook. Again, paper quality, paper type is going to be a personal preference as well. I always say go for the cheaper sketchbooks, like the dollar store sketchbooks, especially if you are in Canada and you shop at Dollarama. Those sketchbooks are wonderful. Just getting discounted sketchbooks and stuff, sketchbooks that you don't spend a lot of money on, that you don't want to, like, you don't think are precious. Like, I have a $30 sketchbook. I've had it for over 10 years and I still haven't filled it yet because I'm afraid to ruin it, which I need to get over that. I think I'm just going to grab it and do like a ton of watercolor sketches in it. And it's that kind of mentality that hinders people from making progress, because they're afraid to destroy their sketchbook. Sketchbooks are meant to be destroyed. They're meant to be worked in. You want to work in them. Some concept work. I was doing a few lists on healthy habits and watching a lot of journaling videos lately. And the journaling has really helped me focus my mind and get all the clutter out. I want to mark this page. I really want to do that as an illustration. Like, I've been really, like, lettering and stuff, but it's always good to work on it. But things to draw and, like, writing down, like, have a page in your sketchbook and just write lists of stuff that you want to draw. When you get inspiration, write it down on that list, because it'll help you in the long run when you go to, like, I don't know what to draw. You can go to that page in your sketchbook, because you have one page marked off that's lists of things that you want to draw. And then you can, like, just inspire yourself, or just write random inspirational quotes or something that makes you want to create. Lots of just animal sketches and stuff. These I need to do more concept work on. This needs to be finished. Seriously, this is the best tip I've received yet, is the one with these little friggin' markers, just to, like, post-its, these tiny little post-its, just to mark off where I am with my pages. I love my monster sketches, just everyday monsters, doing things that normal people would do, like having coffee at your front door while reading your newspaper, or reading a book to your little baby. Like, love that. And these are just straight brush pen drawings. I didn't do any pencil with them. I just did some quick studies. This was a sketch that I inked on Instagram. If you guys follow my Instagram, you'll see a lot of my art and a lot of my art sketching process. These were from Pinterest. This is just, I was listening to a journaling video, and I think I've said her name before and I forget it. It's Christine something. It was in one of my last videos, but listening to her is just so relaxing. And I just did this sketch, and it was just like this really calm person, just like the type of person I want to be. I want to be calm. I want to be creative. I want to be, like, I just want to be accountable. And I just was like, this is like the perfect little sketch for that. And then I did a couple of sketches of a few guys off of Pinterest that I found photographs of, and just really trying to, like, okay, break down the pose. What am I seeing? And doing different methods of drawing that I had seen on Instagram, and just like how people are breaking down their poses and stuff. And more sketches. This was yesterday's sketch, obviously. And this is just brush pen, straight brush pen, and like trying to work on my control for brush pen. Illustration, this is what I needed. That's the other one. I have to remind myself where these illustrations are so that I can finish them. So yeah, like sketches, more sketches, and ink drawing. I did this, and it's like, it was an 8-minute sketch with brush pen, and it's just like this full composition. I've been watching a lot of just these master illustrators that just draw straight with pen, and like they just go in and they make this huge design. Now obviously they have years and years of practice over me. This is Copic marker. I love sketching with gray Copic marker. I like the grays in Copics, don't get me wrong. I just don't like doing full illustrations in Copics, because I find that the colors are not light fast and they do mutate. But like these master illustrators that can just go in and draw with pen with such conviction and like confidence, and I'm trying to build up that confidence so that when I go to ink I'm not freaking out anymore. I watched a video, found a new artist to watch yesterday on Instagram, and she has a YouTube channel. It's amazing. I forget her name because I'm awful, but she did a video on thumbnailing and like just information and stuff that you should remember when you're thumbnailing, and that was wonderful. Working on some concept sketches, pinups. The gold brush pen I got from my last sketchbooks, I absolutely love drawing with. It gives me such amazing line work. And then I was just sketching, filling up pages. This is the other sketch I need. Ugh. I need this bottom one. Anyway, and I'm trying to work backgrounds into a lot of my sketches now, and working on just making final illustrations and full sketches so that they look complete. Like, I love doing all these random spot things, but I really want to do more illustrative, like, this is a scene, this is a panel, this has like a background, foreground, midground, a focal point, that kind of thing. Plants, because I love plants, I just never draw them. So plants and pots. and an original character, because I like to reserve the last page of my book usually for an original character of mine. This is one of my oldest characters. She's over 15 years old. I made her when I was in high school, and I've been working on her story for that long. I really, this year, one of my goals is to, by my birthday, have some sort of a comic put out. Something, even if it's a zine or a single issue. I want to finish at least one comic, one story this year. Yeah, and then the back page is notes on a garden that I have. Anyways, that is my sketchbook. What do you guys think? Did you... I don't know. This is not like a normal sketchbook. I was floundering with this one. I didn't know what to draw. I was constantly like re-evaluating my style and what I was drawing. I was in a bit of a funk, but I kept going back to my sketchbook. I kept working. Even if I was doing these weird lines or lettering, I was doing a lot of practice in this one, and faces and emotions and just different stuff, different concepts, I'm making notes, taking so many notes. I take lots of notes in my sketchbooks. It's a great way to keep your thoughts together, because you're going to carry this with you. If you want to draw, you're going to have your sketchbook, and then you can just flip through and remember, oh, I put these notes in here. And then you can do the tags thing, and any illustration or concept or idea that you like, you can just put these tags in, and then you have the idea in front of you. So it's just this wonderful little thing that you can keep together, and you can, where is it? There it is. You can even make a little bullet journal on one of the pages. My new sketchbook is smaller. It's my new sketchbook I'm going to be working as a mixed media Canson. It's a 7x10. As you can see, it's a bit smaller than this one. This is like an 8.5 by 11, just under. But this one, I'm going to be doing a lot more watercolor in, a lot more ink wash, and on my front page, I think I'm just going to do a March layout and then do some notes on the cover of what my goals are for the sketchbook, and reminders, so that when I open it, okay, these are my reminders. This is like my dates I have to remember, and like different personal stuff in here, some contact information. In your sketchbook, if you carry it with you everywhere, it is always good to put your name and then either a phone number, or like if found please call, or if found please email, or like an email address. Always remember, like, things happen, you can lose your sketchbooks. I left my sketchbooks in bathrooms before. Luckily I got them back. One girl was like, wow, you're a really good artist, and I'm like, that's great, you were looking at my sketchbook while you were pooping. Anyways, that's just shit that happens. That was years ago, but you will, like coffee shops, if you go out and draw in coffee shops, or if you're going out and drawing with friends somewhere, you may lose your sketchbook. You may just misplace it. Say you're at the mall and it falls out of your bag. At least if you have some sort of a contact information page, someone can give you your sketchbook back. Anyways, this video has gone on long enough. It is super long. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you have any comments or whatever in the comment section below. Bye.